Okay, it's Div 5 time. How you going, Tom?
Oh, I'm good. How about that 120-point margin down at Dolphin Park?
Yes, it was the CBC Old Collegians, 24-9, 153. Absolutely smashing the Kookaburras, 5 goals 3, 33.
Yes, for the boys in purple and white, who were dynamite, it was Turner with 5, Tolinar with 4, Raymond, whoever it was, Raymond, they both kicked 3. The whole bloody team kicked goals. Better players were Turner, Owens and Watkins.
And for Kenilworth, Chester with 2, and Chester, Sanders and Bickmore in the best for the Kookaburras. If there was many people that could be best.
Yeah, not a good day for the Cookers, and they sit 9th, and they'll need to make sure they win the games that are against Rosewater and Greenacres to avoid relegation, but they're not going to be able to compete with your CBCs, your Lockleys and your Glenungas. Except on the odd occasion they might be able to jag something out there.
Yeah, well,
it's tough.
It's tough, it is tough, and by all reports they were going alright, but then have been told CBC are a good side, so and they're proving that. Anyway, straight on, I was out at Edwin Smith Reserve next door to the jail there, and it was Blackfriars, the Mighty Hounds. 26 goals, 15, 171, smashing Greenacres. 9 goals, 11, 65.
Funny, I did listen to a radio show on Saturday morning. This game was previewed as Greenacres and Broadview. So, yeah, it was Blackfriars actually. But Blackfriars have got the chockies, and another tough day for Greenacres. They certainly, well, they're struggling. That's all you can say about it.
They certainly are. But you know what? To their credit, they're still putting sides on the field week in, week out, and copping it on the chin. So, for Blackfriars,
the former boy from St Paul's, isn't it? Scafaldi Muda.
He is, Anthony Scafidi Muda. Yes, Antonio Scafidi Muda. Sorry, he kicked 10. Horsell with 6, Valenti with 3, Fechner with 2, Brincat, Scafidi Muta, and Fechner in the best for the Hounds.
For Greenacres, familiar story of Pete Smith bobbing up with the most goals with 3. No, kicked 2. Anderson Tatkovic, probably a good Croatian boy, in the better players. Yeah, so we'll move on from that one, mate. There's not a lot
really to go
dressing. Next one, mate. It was a battle out at Eric Sutton Reserve. I believe you tipped Rosewater last week, and I tipped Hope Valley.
I did tip Rosewater. I thought they had a bit to play for.
Yep, they started okay.
Let me down.
But they were, in the end, they were no match. It was Hope Valley 17-12, 114 to Rosewater
10 goals, 6, 66.
For the Demons, Hellman's kicked 4, Tanksos kicked 3, as did Duggan and Pertini. Payne was a judge of their best with Evergreen Lee Duggan. He's a former medalist in the best players. For Rosewater, mate?
Dealey Godfrey kicking 4.
Oh, Dealey Godfrey.
The Diff Jacobson with 2. Taylor, Pepe and Williams in the best for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, our friends at Rosewater,
they're doing it tough, aren't they?
They sure are.
They're doing it. They're certainly doing it tough.
Yeah.
The next game, which was game of the round.
Just making notes, mate. Sorry,
that's right. Which was game of the round. I actually had the opportunity to duck out and
tell us about it. How did it unfold, mate?
It was Lockley's 20 goals, 13, 133, defeating Paraka 11, 14, 80.
Paraka started all right, and then
they started all right. Lockley's were all over it. Honestly, Lockley's absolutely in that second half of footy just beat them at contested footy. They just matched them at their own game. Paraka wanted to be physical, and it didn't unsettle them. They targeted Martinello. He just continued to get up. Lockley's just still got a lot of blokes to come back as well. Very good sign down there at Rutland Avenue.
Also really good to see different names in the best players for Lockleys. I'll just jump into that now. Micken kicked 6, Lancake kicked 3, a host of players kicked 2, so I'm not going to list all of them. Delulio, Cashel and Lancake. Now they're not names I've been reading every week. Were in the best players.
Yep. Lancake is a jet.
Is he? Where's he play? Tell us about him.
In the middle. He's, Ryan Lancake, he goes real well.
Yep. For Paraka?
Lewis kicked 3, Batten and Timpano with 2. Timpano, Gear and Armstrong were in the best for the Bulls.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, that lad'd be very good at tug of war, Armstrong.
You're terrible.
One thing I've noticed about Lockleys is, you know when they get up and about? When they've got big functions on, and they had a huge function. If there's one team that is undefeatable in beer pong, it is Lockleys. They were going off like a...
boys were pretty keen for it on Saturday night,
they were up and about, and it went long and hard, and they broke the fridges with the amount of stock they turned over. So well done to Lockleys Footy Club. They're a group that plays together and stays together.
Yep.
Maybe you don't get that in the higher divisions anymore. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm wrong. But
they're a pretty close-knit blokes.
Mate, so that's good, and it's been a catalyst, I think, for them moving up.
Yep.
We talked about the upset of the round being Pulteney getting done, but this one is another one that you just simply would not have picked. And interestingly enough, you're going to give us the final score.
And the final score was Woody South 13-12-90 defeating Glenunga 11-5-71.
Interesting point of note is that Woody South actually kicked the first 8 goals of the game. So I mean that's where they've won the game.
They've won the game there, haven't they?
They've kicked the last. Glenunga have kicked the last 3 in the first half. But it's interesting you talk about one player doesn't make a team, but one player certainly can restructure a whole team. And no Mickey McMahon is a big loss for Glenunga.
Had a few out, didn't they? I'm not making excuses because Woody South. This is what we talked about this last week. Woody South knocked Lockleys off, and they've come out and knocked Glenunga off. But then they can't beat the sides that are around their level. It's you can only beat the side that you play on the day, and full credit to Woody South. They've taken a couple of big scalps, and hopefully they can continue to take a few more through the year. So for Woody South, anyway, it was Sumner with 3, Daly with 2, Zasevich, I'll try that, with 2 as well, Haynes, Daly and Murdoch in the best for the Cats. And for Glenunga, Tom?
Prosser kicked 3. The DOS man, Andy Reid, kicked 2. Skellington also kicked 2. Skellington was adjudged best with An Yang and Ward, and Andy Reid as well was snuck in with 4 best, my mate there.
Yep.
I think they'll bounce back from that. Again, at least they battled out in the last quarter. There's no disgrace losing to Woody South at home, and I think Woody South will take some scouts in the second half of the year.
I think they will, yeah.
Apparently a lot of their players have returned from injury, so...
That's good though, they're a proud club, so...
So now, Wayne, have you got any mail? Now, I know McMahon should be back soon, and it looked like Edwards played, and Abel played, and so a lot of their better players played. Kane Corns has been mentioned all over the place. Sorry, I got that wrong there.
You did get that right, yes.
Any mail on when Kane might be making his debut?
I heard a rumour that he's going to play...
A rumour? We have a rumour?
We have a rumour, right? I've heard a rumour that he was only going to play a one-off game. A bit similar to what Didak is going to do at Parramatta.
Well, I wonder if someone's going to be able to drive him to the game. That's pretty clever.
Yes.
One-off game, we're going to say who it's against. We know who it's against.
It's not confirmed. We're all about facts on this show. We're not about...
Facts!
We're not about fiction and lame stories and people playing on the same ground at the same time, like on other media outlets that we've heard.
Oh, dear.
All right, but...
Meanwhile, in C2...
Anyway, it might be against Greenacres, but I don't know.
That's what we've heard.
That's what we've heard. So
Michael Baker leads the goal kicking with 45. He's 11 ahead of Antonio Scafidi and Muta. But Muta's kicked, I think, 19 in the last 2 weeks, has he?
Bad,
so he's coming.
He's
coming like Mike Lowry with the Thunder.
Yep.
Quickly looking at the ladder, it's Lockleys and Glenunga at 9 and 2 on top. Then it's CBC and Blackfriars, the college team, second on 8 and 3. Paraka, maybe the dark horse, 6 and 5, sitting 5th. But from what you saw on the weekend,
they'd have to do a lot of improving.
Yep. I think our grand finalists might be sitting 1 and 2 as we speak. Well, that's what we've been saying for a while, and
we have been.
We'll stick with it.
Time will tell.
Yes, that's what time does.
Yes, it will.
Hope Valley and Greenacres should be a nice win for the Valleys to get their season ticking along and keep their finals chances alive.
Yep.
They drop this, they're gone.
Valleys for me, I think Valleys by probably 10 goals.
Yep. Paraka and Kenilworth again.
Paraka on the bounce back at home, always hard to beat at home. Bit of a travel for the Kookaburras. Paraka by 6 goals.
Yep. Percentage could be a factor moving later in the year. A good strong win for Paraka will almost give them that game's break with percentage.
Yep. Woody South and Rosewater down at Ledger Reserve.
Woody South are in...
you couldn't pick against them, could you?
No, I mean, well, they've beaten Glenunga. They're at home. Rosewater are in dire straits here. They could well get relegated, which would be an absolute disaster for Ricky and the boys.
Yep.
They have over... Last year, a lot of the times they came out and won those big games. We talk about they've got the ability to do that. They haven't done it this year, so I can't tip them.
No, Woody South for me. I reckon Woody South by 5 goals. Glenunga and CBC up at Webb Oval.
Well, these last 2 games,
they're
we
both
could give 10 minutes to each of them. So Glenunga sit first. Have they hit a roadblock or they bounce straight back. CBC just going from strength to strength at the moment. CBC can leapfrog Glenunga into top spot potentially in this game. So there's plenty on the line in this one. I'll take the Rams at home at the Web of Ramage.
The Web of Ramage. I think Glenunga myself, just that smaller ground, I think they'll congest it a little bit more, slow it down a little bit. Won't let CBC, they're young and fast, they like to run, try and close it in a little bit, and Glenunga by 2 to 3 goals.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close one. I think Glenunga have got a couple of those, well, 3 or 4 ex-North players with real raw pace. Edwards, Reed, McMahon, if he plays, will be very hard to stop all of them.
Yep.
So.
And last but certainly not least, the final match of the round, for Division 5. It's Blackfriars v Lockleys at St Dom's Oval there next to the Aquatic Centre.
A huge game. Another one incredibly hard to pick.
3 very close games last year.
Yep. Look, Lockleys have maybe 2 weeks ago they had a shocker. They need to probably make sure.
Did they though? Did they? I ask you that question.
They kicked 12 goals too.
Yeah, but are CBC that good though? That's the question we've got to ask.
We'll find out, won't we?
That's the question we've got to ask. Were Lockleys that bad, or was CBC that good?
Well, I don't know. Right?
You don't know.
That's the thing. This round will tell us a lot.
It will.
I'm going to take Lockleys. Wouldn't be surprised if Blackfriars got the job done. I think Zwecky will have a good matchup for our boy Antonio, though.
Yeah, I think he will too. Lockleys for me by 1 to 10 points. It'd be a tight one.
Thanks for watching the Weekly Roundup. We'll be back next week.
See you guys.